My life is still coming. Nobody else can ever do. I don't know the words, obviously. Nobody can drag me down. Okay, that's good. That's One Direction, Drag Me Down. Hey everybody, my name is Caleb Graham, and welcome to a live edition of The Mix. I apologize for all of the weirdness at the beginning of this. I will try my best, if possible, to take that off once it's uploaded to YouTube, but they've changed this live broadcasting setting since the last time I did it, so I had to figure it out before I started. But we're only starting 7 minutes late, so that's okay. Again, Caleb Graham, welcome to The Mix. It's my first live broadcast of this show. I've been taping them up until now, which is not very many, but I want you to go. I'm actually going to go and do this now. While I'm doing this, go to Twitter, twitter.com/Caleb Graham, or if you go on your app, search for Caleb Graham, and go on there and follow me and tweet me during the show. I'm tweeting right now. I am live now on YouTube. Wait, let's see, youtube.com/GIOTV online. Tweet me using #TheMix. Okay. Sweet. It's done. Okay. So, welcome to The Mix. I really hope that you guys are having a good Sunday. It is Sunday, August the 30th. It is the last Sunday of August. September starts next week. And hopefully here in Florida we'll get some fall weather coming around. Right now we are waiting for the terrific, or I guess torrential rain that is coming with the remnants of what was Tropical Storm Erica. They've been telling us all week that it may come, it may not come. We weren't sure, so we've been waiting to find out. I went the other day to the store and got some supplies. I didn't get a whole lot of stuff because, I didn't feel like it was going to be that bad, so I didn't over-prepare. But I did get a few things. I got some canned soup and some canned meat, which if I ever eat that, hopefully it's good. I got some other non-perishable things like that I could eat dry without having to cook, like bread and peanut butter and things like that. And so I tried to get things that I would eat anyway, even if it wasn't bad. And it's not going to be. We're just going to get a lot of rain. However, there are some flood watches out for this area in Orlando, so we're going to be on the lookout for that. But it still hasn't started raining yet. It's still pretty nice outside right now. It's kind of getting a little cloudy. I know there was a lot of heavy rain up in the Daytona and Ormond Beach area a little while ago. But other than that, we haven't seen anything yet. I'm really interested to see if anyone is watching this right now. I'm going to go over, if you'll pardon my reach here, I'm going to go over to YouTube for a second and see what we look like. I know there's a little bit of a delay, so we'll see how that looks later on. I was going to record an audio of this, but I'm going to just download it later. It says I have one person watching, so I guess that's good. Let's see. Blah, 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 blah. I wanted to see where the link was to send out for this. I think... So, I think... Let's see. Let's go to stream options. No. I'm going to try something really quickly. So pause for a moment. Give me just a second. I'm going to go to my YouTube channel and see if it's showing there. GIOTV online. Go. Because my computer is muted right now, so it wouldn't hear me anyway if we were there. Okay. It's not showing there. Let's see. I don't know. I'll have to figure this out. Anyway, I know that it will upload, and if it doesn't upload, I'm recording it, so either way, we'll figure this out. But let's see, let me go back. Okay, moving right along. this may end up being all in vain, but we're going to do it anyway. We're going to get into hot topics. So I was talking about Tropical Storm Erica, or the remnants of Erica. We're waiting for it today. We're supposed to be getting a lot of rain. It's been hitting some other areas of Florida already. But I want to talk about something that was really big in the news. It was a really big week for the news this week. There was a lot of stuff going on, big stuff going on. The first thing that I want to talk about is the horrific massacre of these two journalists on live television that happened Wednesday. Two journalists, Allison Parker and Adam Ward, were out doing a live shot for WDBJ7. That's a station, it's a CBS affiliate station out of Roanoke, Virginia. And they were interviewing a woman named Vicki Gardner, who worked for the Chamber of Commerce for the area. They were kind of talking about tourism in that area, showing a park. And they were the only people on this boardwalk where they were doing this interview. And this man comes up and starts shooting. He kills Allison Parker, the 24-year-old reporter, and her photographer, who is 27-year-old Adam Ward, with a gun. It happened on live television. He also filmed it with his own camera and posted it online later. I've seen both of the videos, and it's very horrific. If you want to watch it, kind of be prepared. It's very disturbing. I was only able to watch it once, or twice. Sorry, because I did ship my some people asked to see it, and I watched it when they saw it. But it's scary. It's scary for people like me who are trying to get into that field and who are in school for broadcasting and news and such. You know, it's kind of like, do I still want to pursue that? Do I still want to do that after seeing something like that happen? Because they had no idea. This guy creeped up on them, and they were all engaged in what they were doing. They were doing their jobs, exactly what they were supposed to be doing, and were taken by surprise. And it was very sad, very unfortunate, very mind-blowing. I can't even think of enough adjectives to describe everything that was going through my mind as I watched this unfold the other day. But my hope is that there's been a huge spark. Allison Parker's father has sparked this huge kind of conversation in the country, in the United States this week, about gun control, which it's been something that's been talked about a lot lately because there's been so many shootings over the past few years. And the issue is, how do we do it? My suggestion is, I mean, I personally don't believe in taking all guns away. I don't feel like that's necessary. You know, if someone's breaking into my, I don't personally own a gun, but if I did and someone was breaking into my house and threatening myself or my roommates, you know, I can't say that I wouldn't use it to protect myself. That's the purpose of having it, you know. Unfortunately, people use it for criminal acts like this, but there was this whole conversation about him having mental problems, which it's obvious. If you look at everything, the history of what happened with him when he was working at this station, which, by the way, he had worked for the station that was reporting that he killed the two people from. His name is Vester Flanagan. His on-air name was Bryce Williams. He had a troubled past, and it's really sad that there weren't any people in his life who kind of saw that and were willing to help him, because this could have been prevented. If people had paid attention, this could have been prevented. But from what it seems like, he didn't really have a lot of friends. His family was not in very much contact with him. Nobody even came to claim his body. So that kind of shows that it was just unfortunate. The whole situation was unfortunate. His situation was sad. What happened was sad. When it comes to reporters, though, going back to that, I don't think that we should completely get rid of guns. I'll just say that. I think that the background checks should be more specific, should be more involved. People should pay more attention to who's buying the guns. That I do think should change. But because these criminals, people with mental illnesses and mental problems, don't need to have them. They don't need to get them. They need to figure out a way to stop that, for sure. But I worry about the future of television journalism after something like this, because this is the first time really that anything like this has happened. I mean, there have been situations where reporters have been injured, I think, in the past, but there haven't really been any like this where they were actually shot on the air and killed on live television, and then it posted all over the internet. It was one reporter said, you know, this was the first social media murder, and it's true. He uploaded everything in pretty much real time. I hope this is something, as a suggestion that I would throw out if anybody ever asked me, is if this were to become a problem, if it happened again, or if people were scared enough, stations should invest in hiring security people to go out with these reporters. There's usually not that many from each station that seem to go out all at one time. I know a lot of times they do, but for those live shots like that out in public areas, I feel like there should be somebody there. Because if you see the video, they had no idea. There was nobody. They did not see him at all. And if there had been just one other person there, watching, it could have not been as tragic as it was. The other lady who they were interviewing, her name is, like I said, Vicky Gardner. She was injured. She kind of rolled up in a ball based on what her husband said, and she only got shot one time in the back. She claims that he tried to shoot her more than that, but that the gun misfired, or it didn't work. He wasn't able to, which was good. And she actually walked to the ambulance, is what the reports say. So that's good, and she's doing well, apparently, in the hospital. She has a very long recovery, they say, but she survived, which is the important part. There's been a lot of outreach from other stations and journalists across the country and on social media. There's several hashtags that people are using. The actual station itself started using the hashtag #WeAreWDBJ7, and they have been on the air the whole time. They never closed their station. They've honored the memory of these two people phenomenally, and they have said, we are not going to let this break us down. We're going to stand together, and we're going to get through this and heal. And that's exactly what they're doing, and it's fantastic. It's absolutely remarkable. The other stations are using the hashtag #WeStandWithWDBJ. There's so much support for these people, this family at this station, as well as the families of the victims. Adam's fiance worked at the station. It was her last day doing that morning show the day that he was killed on the air. Allison's boyfriend also works at the station as an anchor. So much support for these people, and it's absolutely beautiful what everyone is doing. There's also one other hashtag, if you so choose, hashtag #PrayForWDBJ. That's one that other ones are using. I want to tell you again as we move on. I'm going to move on to the next topic here in a second. But if you're just joining, this is The Mix, and I am Caleb Graham. Hello. Talking about some of the hot topics from this past week. And if you want to go on to Twitter and tweet me at Caleb Graham, use hashtag The Mix, and we will read some of those if I get any. So far I haven't. But again, this is my first broadcast in a while, so I'm not really gonna get my feelings hurt if nobody watches the first one, because it may not even know how to get to it, honestly, right now. But hopefully I'll be able to upload this. I'm recording it, so I'll be able to upload it to YouTube later, and people can watch it. And you can still tweet if you're watching it after the live on-air session. You can still tweet me, and I'll tweet you back if you have something to say. I'm going to move on to a little bit of politics for a second. Hillary Clinton thinks that Republicans are terrorists, apparently. This week she was speaking about women's health, and she had a few things to say about the Republicans. She said, extreme views about women, we expect that from terrorist groups. She went on to say that it's hard to take that from Republicans who want to be president of the United States. So basically she was calling the Republican presidential candidates terrorists. She also lost a lot of support this week in the polls. She's gone down a little bit. I personally don't identify myself as Republican or Democratic. If anything, I'm more independent. I choose who I'm going to vote for based on my own opinions, and if I agree with the majority of what one candidate says, I usually will vote for that person. So far, Hillary has just been, I feel like she's being dumb. She's said a lot of weird things, and which so has Donald Trump, and we're going to get to that in just a minute. But I went to Facebook, because that's usually what I do whenever I have an opinion, because I don't have anybody really to talk to on this show as of right now, which if you want to co-host, let me know. I go to Facebook and I'll post statuses about it, and then I'll see what everybody thinks or what other people say. So I'm going to go to this really quickly and pull up Facebook here. I had it open a second ago and it reset, which that's something that I would suggest to the Facebook people on your app. Every time I close it, it resets, even if I don't exit out. Anyway, let's see. The status that I posted was this. I posed the question, Republicans are terrorists? And then I said, that's an interesting piece of stupidity there, Hillary, when I thought you might not say anything dumber than, I'm just chillin'. The Democrats need a front runner, or a better one anyway. Like I said, I'm a little bit more of an independent than either Democratic or Republican. But I really hope that people are not dumb enough to listen to the things that she's saying and things that she's legit. She's walked around this whole email thing and obviously not told the truth about that. But I had some comments, so I'm going to read a couple of those. Wayne said, unfortunately, yes, people are that stupid. Just look at the times in the last 30 years that we the people reelected someone that already had poor job performance the first time they were elected. I can't really disagree with that. Someone told me to go into one of the break rooms at my job and ask how many people support Hillary. And then it's sad that you ask them the facts and information on our stances and see how many honestly can give you some. There's your answer. Blindly, like sheep, they follow. Bernie Sanders has gotten a little bit more support this week. I personally have not looked up a lot of the things that he has to say because he hasn't been in the news as much, but I am planning on doing that the closer it gets. I'm really not sticking to one specific person right now. I really am a fan of Carla Fiorina after that Republican debate. Josh thinks that Bernie's support is super concentrated in major urban areas, on the West Coast especially. Hillary is still seen as the leader in most of the country because of the name recognition, and I fully agree with that. Society is becoming more concerned with name, fame, and popularity than they are policy, I think, and what the candidates actually say that they're going to do or what they will or will not do. And I don't think that Hillary's support will last, mostly because of the things that she says. Same thing with Donald Trump. I think it's more of a popularity with him. People are keeping him up in the polls because his name and because he's popular and he had a hit TV show. And, excuse me, I'm going to take a drink of water. But people that actually follow, as you can see, her support is going down. The polls have shown that. Donald Trump's is still up. I had one other thing to say. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought for a second. Anyway, I don't think that it's fair. It's not very American to talk about other Americans running for the same office as you as terrorists. I don't think that that is appropriate. I think that was vulgar and very inappropriate. It was a terrible thing to say, and she should apologize. She probably won't, but she should, because she was calling fellow Americans who are not terrorists. But anyway, I'm going to move on to the next thing. By the way, I apologize if I do. I'm going to take a little bit of a snack. I have not eaten lunch yet, so I brought some Pringles. So I can have a snack while I'm on the air. Isn't that so classy? Donald Trump kicked our journalist out of his press conference this week. I tried to keep up with all of the news channels or networks. I should say I try to read or watch or listen to multiple ones every time so that I'm not getting just one opinion or one thought. But we have a news station here in Orlando, News 96.5, and they play Brian Kilmeade's show. And the other day when this happened, the day after this happened, basically Jorge Ramos from Univision stood up and tried to start asking questions, but he didn't really do it in the most appropriate way. He kind of threw some criticism in there too, and Donald Trump shot him down, and he ended up being escorted out, which I feel like that's a whole nother can of worms, which is what Brian Kilmeade talked about journalists getting kicked out of a press conference for asking questions. Hopefully that's not what it's coming to in today's society, because then it's kind of like, what do you do? He thinks that the media should back itself up, which I agree with. The media should support other outlets. Again, Jorge Ramos may not have handled the situation the best way. He wasn't very respectful, but at the same time, he should not have been kicked out. He should have sat down and been respectful and asked legit questions instead of standing up to criticize, because that's not what journalists are supposed to do. But the problem that I've developed with Donald Trump is, it seems, and this was back after the Republican debate, I watched, I think it was the next day, it wasn't the same, it was either that night or the next night. Donald Trump was on, he called into CNN Tonight with Don Lemon, and because it was that huge thing about Megyn Kelly and all that. Well, it seems like to me, from what I hear him say, if you don't agree with him at all, or if you don't say something that's 100% in support of something that he says, he's gonna bash you. So basically, you're either with him or against him. There's no room for in between. There's no room for your own opinions. If it's not his opinion, then it's not right, and he's gonna criticize you or talk ugly about you. And I don't feel like that's something that the President of the United States would do. He's very rude when it comes to his comments about women. I guess his wife is the only woman that's acceptable as far as looks, because he dogs everybody else and talks about how fat they are, how ugly they are, how not beautiful they are. It's just some of his things that he say I just don't understand. I mean, I will say I do agree with some of the things he says policy-wise. There does need to be something done about immigration. That's a huge problem in this country, and something needs to be done about it. And nobody seems to want to. He is talking about it, which is important, and that's good. But it's just the way he talks about it that's kind of like, ooh, wow, why would you say that? Like, why would you say those mean things? I just don't think that the President of the United States is one that would talk ugly about people. I mean, I'm not always one to be politically correct either. Sometimes I think I do agree with Trump that sometimes this country is too politically correct. But it's just the way that you do it, the voice and the tone. You gotta be a little bit nicer. You gotta be a little more respectful to some people, or to people in general. And I feel like you can do the things that he wants to do without being so mean and without being ugly and talking crazy. I don't get it. But that's just my thoughts about that. I'm going to move on to a little bit something lighter. We're going to get into some entertainment stuff, because I am a performer and I love entertainment. I love music. I love television. I love movies. I love watching them. I love watching those award shows. I love watching TV. It's like the only thing I do besides this. I really, literally hardly have any social life. Because obviously I spend my days off talking to a camera to people that don't watch. But my favorite show, most of my favorite shows are going off the air, unfortunately. I don't know what I'm going to do once they're all over. There's only a couple new ones that I've watched. But yesterday, Downton Abbey released their season 6 trailer. This is the last season for the show, and I'm so sad. I caught on to this show a couple years ago when I was on medical leave from work. I had a rash issue. It actually caused MRSA on my leg, which is great. I was out of work for like 3 weeks. But I started watching this show while I was on that hiatus from work. And it's absolutely a fantastic show. I'm usually not a huge fan of period stuff, but this show is fantastic. If you've never watched it, go buy the DVDs, go buy the Blu-rays. I can't say that. If you have Amazon Prime, I think they stream on there. PBS.org is where they stream some of them as well. However you can find to watch it, get it and watch it, because it's a fantastic show. Catch up, get ready for Series 6. The trailer posed so many questions. First of all, it was one of the saddest trailers I've ever seen. The song that played on it was like, it's time to say goodbye, and this song, and I'm thinking, oh, I'm so sad, I'm gonna cry the whole time. But it doesn't give you much. It really doesn't give you anything. it's got, like I said, this song playing over it. There's a couple of little quotes in there from Lord Grantham, but these are all of my questions that I have now after seeing this trailer. Is Carson leaving? Will he marry Mrs. Hughes? What about Anna and Bates? Is Anna leaving? You don't even see Bates in the trailer except from behind when he's hugging Anna. So is he going to jail for the killing of Mr. Green? Like, what's going on? They did say that would be resolved, the Mr. Green thing. We would find out how and why he died, but we don't know who did it or who was behind it or if it was premeditated. All those things we don't really know. When we ended the show, Anna had come back from jail at the end of season 5. Sorry for the spoiler alert. Spoiler. And they were both at Downton, but we don't really know what's going to happen after that. Is Daisy moving to Mr. Mason's farm? It was reported earlier in the summer that some of the staff at the house would be dismissed because of rising costs and things like that. They weren't going to be able to afford to have as much of a staff as they had in the past. There's also a report that there's a scene where Lord Grantham goes to the kitchen and makes his own snack. If that happens, I kind of am excited to see that and see him fumble around the kitchen. We've only seen a couple of the family down in the kitchen actually doing servants' work. We saw Lady Sybil learning how to cook when she went to nursing school, and we saw Lady Mary go down last season and make eggs. But there was a couple of shots of Daisy with Mr. Mason, so I think that she might be dismissed and moving to his farm. Is Edith going to get her happy ending? God bless this poor child. Poor Edith is one of the hashtags. That's one of the podcasts I listen to on AfterBuzz TV. They use poor Edith as their hashtag. She has had the worst time. And the creator of the show said that he kind of wrote it that way, that there's some people on Earth that just never get a break. And Anna and Bates are two of them, and so is Edith. So we don't really know how they're going to end. I'm thinking that it's not going to end well for Edith. I don't think it's going to end well for Anna and Bates. I think that both of their stories are going to be left open because there's been a lot of talk about in film. It was reported there would be resolution, but there might still be some things unanswered, which is so frustrating. But everybody in the show says that we will be satisfied with the end. So it's very exciting. Are they losing Downton? Are they losing the house? That's another question. The trailer alludes to little things like that they might be losing the show, that Anna and Bates are leaving, or that Anna's leaving. There's a scene where she talks to Lady Mary and says, we've had some trouble or something like that. I can't quite remember the quote. And then Thomas. We see Thomas a couple times in the trailer. He walks into the room with that butler, the guy who came last season at the end, and he's sitting on the floor like holding a lamp. I've watched it a couple times to try to analyze it. I just have so many questions. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? It's so stressful. And we have to wait so long to see it. In UK, it's going to debut on, let's see, I wrote it down, September 20th. And here in the US on PBS, we're not getting it until January 4th. That's a really long time. That's several months away. I might try to find it online. No. I will still buy it though, but who knows? I shouldn't say that. Anyway, so Downton Abbey. I'm really excited about the last season, but I'm sad too because it's ending. If you watch Downton Abbey, tweet me at Caleb Graham using hashtag #mixed, and we can talk about it because I love Downton Abbey. So, other big news this past week in entertainment was about my favorite talk show, The View. They finally announced their new co-hosts for season 19, and I couldn't be more excited. I will start off by saying I'm very upset still with you, ABC, that you let go of Nicole Wallace. I liked her. Anyway, we'll move on, because she's not there, so it doesn't matter. Can't keep talking about it. They made a big announcement this week. They added 3 new co-hosts. This is actually history for the show. They've always only had 4 to 5 regular co-hosts, and this season there's going to be 6. Whoopi Goldberg, Michelle Collins, and Raven Simone are all returning from last season. They added, the rumor was, and it was confirmed, that they added Candace Cameron-Bure, who is the sister of Kirk Cameron. She was well known for playing on Full House. She's going to be starring in the new Netflix series Fuller House coming out next year. And then Paula Ferris from GMA Weekend, she's one of the anchors of GMA Weekend, she will be joining the show. Both of them will still be doing their regular jobs. They'll still be doing Fuller House, Candace will. Paula will still be on GMA Weekend. Yesterday they talked about it on the morning, and she said she would pretty much be working every single day of the week, but she would have, she'd take days off now, here and there. She's got 3 kids. Girl gonna be busy. And then Joy Behar is returning. If I had an applause track, this would be a big applause right now. I loved Joy when she was on the show before. She was on for 13 seasons. She was one of the first co-hosts. And all of this was done in, I think, prep to bring the show back and get ratings back up. The ratings went down a lot this past season. And there have been like this revolving door of co-hosts for the past 3 seasons ever since Joy and Elizabeth Hasselbeck left. Jenny McCarthy was brought on, then her and Sherry Shepherd left, Barbara Walters retired, Nicole Wallace, Rosie Perez, Rosie O'Donnell were brought on, Rosie O'Donnell left, then Rosie Perez left, then Nicole left. They had some quotes. They're real excited about it. Joy said that just when she thought she was gone, they got her back in. There's a rumor, there was an article on Daily Mail that I read that said that this was a kind of already drama. Again, it's Daily Mail, so I don't know really how reputable they are, but they say that Whoopi is not going to be doing the Friday shows. Oh, that's something else new for the season. They're going to be doing all 5 days live. So normally the Friday show would be taped on Thursday, but they keep it to where it's all live now. So Whoopi says that or this is the rumor, allegedly, we'll make sure we put that in there, allegedly, according to Daily Mail, Whoopi's contract, as well as Michelle's and Raven's, say that they only work 4 days a week. And Raven and Michelle have said that they would do the Friday live shows, but Whoopi's saying that she won't. And then Joy will moderate on Fridays instead of Whoopi. Now the rumor is, online, Whoopi is not happy about Joy coming back. But if you watched the show before Joy left, her and Whoopi were always really good friends. And every time Joy has guest co-hosted since then, Whoopi has been thrilled that she's there. So I don't believe that. I could see the thing about Whoopi not wanting to do the Friday shows, but I could also see why that would be a good incentive for Joy to come back, because she had said recently that she would not go back to The View because they didn't offer her enough. So, I don't know. Either way, I'm super excited that there's going to be 6 panelists for the first time ever. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. They've also added a team of contributors that includes Stacey London, Anna Navarro, Padma Lakshmi, Molly Sims, and my girl Sherry Shepherd's coming back as a contributor. Yes! I really love Sherry. I loved her on the show before. I was so sad when she left. So I'm glad, even though she won't be there every day, I'm excited to see her every once in a while. She's got her own show coming out, Holy and Hungry. I'm excited about that too. Anyway, if you watch The View, tune them back in. They start back on September 8th. It's the day after Labor Day. So it's like 2 weeks or so it's a week. A week from this Tuesday. And I will be watching and tweeting and talking about it. So don't worry, I will be there. One last thing. Tonight is the MTV Video Music Awards. And Miley Cyrus is hosting. So we all know that's going to be a very classy affair. I will be tweeting and watching and talking about it. So don't you worry. We will talk about it tomorrow. I'm going to come back for another live show tomorrow. I'm going to shoot for a live show tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. So I will do my best until then to figure out what I did wrong with this one and make sure that everyone is there and can watch live tomorrow at 1 o'clock as I talk about the Video Music Awards. So make sure you come back and tune in. Now it's time for social media. I have a lot of social media. So you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Periscope at Caleb Graham. And then you can go over to Facebook.com/Caleb Graham Official and click the like button. And then I have a website, which is via WordPress. It's GIOTVonline.com. And there I post blogs, I post videos there, and things like that. then you can watch me always right here on YouTube at youtube.com/GIOTV online. That is GIOTV online. That's it for today's live broadcast. Thank you for watching, if you did. If you're watching this later, thank you for watching later. Tweet me at Caleb Graham using hashtag The Mix, and we will get this conversation started and going and having a great time. And hopefully we can get some more people watching. Hopefully I'll have some guests soon, so you're not just sitting here listening to me talk. But I have my opinions. I like to talk about them. So let me know what you think. I like conversation, so get involved. It'll make me have more fun, and I think it would make the show more fun to watch too. That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Have some fun today and add something new to the mix. I'll see you next time. Let's see if we can get this